Welcome, nonprofit news feed. My name is George Weiner, the chief whaler of Whole Whale, and we have Nick Azulay, the digital strategist over at Whole Whale. This week, we are talking about the IVF information, NRA having some issues, and deforestation. That's what we're talking about. How's it going, Nick?
It's going great, George. Like you said, we want to talk this week about IVF, particularly the nonprofit angle here. So in Alabama, about a week ago, the Alabama Supreme Court decided in a case that frozen embryos were legally, quote, unborn children, and has put multiple IVF clinics on edge, fearing possible criminal repercussions for this work. So the politics of this have gotten really, really dicey. This is, of course, extremely restrictive ruling on behalf of the Alabama Supreme Court. Multiple clinics offering and medical centers offering IVF as a fertility treatment have closed their operations due to this ruling. House Republicans, some House Republicans and other Republicans have come out actually against this ruling because they realize kind of how unpopular it is. But George, beyond the politics, which by the way are deeply, deeply unpopular based on polling from Pew and others, Planned Parenthood said that this decision could, quote, ripple across the country on the state and federal level as personhood laws proliferate. So even though this isn't federal legislation necessarily, because of the Dobbs decision, abortion rights are now being adjudicated in the states, particularly Supreme state judicial systems. And rulings like this could become potentially commonplace as stringent as they are. And of course, nonprofit organizations like Planned Parenthood and many others will be on the front lines of advocating against those, building up support, engaging in lobbying activities, that kind of thing. George, what do we think of this?
Look, on a personal level, I know many families that have benefited from IVF, and it actually, I mean, it is pro life. If you want more life, if you want more babies in the world, there are folks that can't have children unless there are the amazing interventions of IVF that allow that to happen. So, like, let's like park that on the side. I love what Planned Parenthood is doing here, which is going on having these conversations on major media channels and getting that narrative out there. And they're exactly right. They're exactly right in saying, like, where does the boundary stop? And, you had the Planned Parenthood CEO talking on MSNBC. We have got statements from Planned Parenthood Southeast president, Carol McDonald, saying, like, this could ripple across the country on state and federal level as personhood laws proliferate. And that is the Life at Conception Act, which has 125 House Republicans, including Mike Johnson, in the mix on that. And so they're exactly right to sound the alarm bell. This isn't just Alabama, which is already rough enough, right? Where you're potentially criminalizing helping families that trying to conceive. Again, seems like anti pro life, by the way, and having them be a very loud voice out there, continue to have those conversations, but continue to be in the press and just make this point of what it looks like for folks. So great job, Planned Parenthood, and the work as needed somehow more than ever.
Yeah, George, I couldn't agree more. And I think it adds urgency to so many of the political conversations and campaigns that, of course, are ongoing up until and including November. So I'm sure that this will be a big part of that because it already has become a big part of that.
Yeah,
Right.
and great
I
job by
will.
the Democracy
Mm,
Labs. Sorry, great job by the Democracy Labs. They put together a very interactive map that lets you see exactly where all of the folks supporting this draconian approach to IVF are potentially supporting this Life at Conception Act.
yeah, George. No, that's an excellent resource. Definitely everyone should check it out.